Welcome students once again in our chapter chemical reactions and equations. Today we will discuss the remaining types of a reaction, that is a double displacement reaction, which is last one. We have to leave this thing. Now we will take the double displacement reaction is there. So what is meant by double displacement reaction? We have taken some example related with and the definition of double displacement reaction. After that, the endothermic reaction and exothermic reaction. What is meant by endothermic reaction and exothermic reactions? There are some activities related with it, and by using this activity we can measure the temperature, whether it is releases or given out, or whether it is provided to carry out this reaction. According to this, we have to classify these reactions. After that, the factors affecting chemical reactions. How many factors? There are 5 factors which can affect the process of chemical reactions. The chemical reactions can be carried out quite vigorously. That means quite faster, in a faster way or in a slower way. How it is proceeded and which factors are dependent, which parameters are affecting the chemical reactions. These we have to study today. So we have to start with the first point, double displacement reaction. Double displacement reaction. What is meant by double displacement reaction? We have already seen what is meant by a displacement reaction. Reaction. In a displacement reaction, we have seen that the less reactive element or ions can be substituted by the more reactive substance ions which are taking part, which are take place that place, and the reaction goes further. So in a double displacement reaction, for that we have taken example. We have already taken in our activities. That the first reaction is that we have taken 2 examples. That first one is that the reaction between the AgNO3, that is silver nitrate, and sodium chloride. So AgNO3 is one of the reactant, and sodium chloride. We know that the common salt which is we have already used in everyday's life in our kitchen, in our home. Silver nitrate is there, and sodium chloride is there. Silver nitrate and sodium chloride. We know that this is a positive ion, this is negative ion, this is positive, this is negative ion. They interchange their ions. In the reactants, 2 reactants are there, 2 compounds are there, silver nitrate and sodium chloride. Okay, they having the positive negative ions are there. By formation of a ionic bond between them, and they form a sodium nitrate and a sodium chloride. So what happens in this reaction? This silver nitrate takes place of a sodium, and this sodium takes place. This sodium is moved towards the nitrate, and this nitrate is in this way the chemical reaction goes, and the AgCl and sodium nitrate, AgCl and sodium nitrate is formed. So in a chemical reaction, the ions of a reactants interchange each other, and the product is formed. In that product, what you have to see? We have to see a precipitation, insoluble substance which is in the form in this chemical reaction. That is silver chloride, which shows in the downward direction. So another example, we have barium sulfate is there. Barium sulfate reacts with potassium chromate, K2CrO4. Okay, so barium is a positive ion, sulfate is positive. This is a positive ion. This is a sulfate, a radical, that is a negative ions. Potassium is a positive, and chromate, and that is a negative ion. So it can interchange its ions and form what happens? BaCrO4, that is precipitated, and that is yellow precipitated. Here AgCl is a white precipitated. Precipitation which formed here, AgCl is white, here is yellow, and the K2SO4. In this way the reaction goes. So the reaction in which ions in the reactants are exchanged, the reaction in which ions of the reactants, ions, these are the ions, positive, positive, negative, negative, they are exchanged. They are exchange each other, and in this way exchanged, and the precipitation is formed, and there are two different substances are formed, and this type of reaction is called a double displacement reaction. Double displacement. Only displacement what you see in the ions, the less reactive ions is displaced by a more reactive ions. Okay, here we can see that the positive ions replace each other and the negative ions replace each other and form a precipitation, that is a barium chromate and potassium sulfate. Okay, so we have studied, we have seen the double displacement reaction is there. What is the peculiarity of double displacement reaction? In a double displacement reaction, two reactants each other and two product form, and in this reaction there is a precipitation, one precipitation in the product. Okay, so what next one is endothermic and exothermic reaction. Endothermic and exothermic reaction. What is meant by endothermic reaction and what is meant by exothermic reaction? In simply we can say that when heat is absorbed from outside, that is endothermic reaction. In simple, heat is absorbed from surrounding, from outside, that is endothermic. That is endothermic. Okay, that is endothermic reaction, and heat is given out. Heat is evolved. In this way, heat is evolved. They have written that heat is given away. Heat is given away. This reaction, heat is given away outside. This is exothermic reaction. Okay, in simple word, in abbreviated word, we can say that what is meant by endothermic reaction. In endothermic reaction, heat is absorbed from outside. Heat is necessary or heat is provided to it. Heat must be absorbed or provided to it to carry out this reaction, and this is called endothermic reaction. Okay, and the heat is given away. Heat is given away outside. This is called exothermic reaction. So heat is given away. So initially, what we have to do a procedure for that. Both these endothermic and exothermic reaction, how it is carried out, how the reaction taking place by using some sort of activity. So we have to study the activity first. In that activity, we can learn two activities are there. It's one activity. What you have to do? They have taken in that activity to carry out. We can easily see on the page number 39. We can easily see on the page number 39. Two plastic bottles are there. Okay, these are the plastic bottles. These are the plastic bottles, A and B. Okay, and in that bottles, what you have to do? We have to take 100 ml of water. 100 ml of water. 100 ml water in each bottle. 100 ml of water in each bottle. What you have to add? We have to add 5 gram. We have to add 5 gram KNO3, potassium nitrate. And here we have to add 5 gram sodium hydroxide. Okay. 5 gram of potassium nitrate we have to add in the 100 ml of a bottle which containing 100 ml of water. In bottle B we have taken 100 ml of water and we have to add 5 gram of NaOH. So this solution is taking place, and this solution part, what you have to see, we have to measure the initial temperature of both these bottles. Initial temperature, that is T1 we have to measure, and T2 we have to measure. The dissolution of a potassium nitrate is taking place, and after that the temperature T1 which is initially measured, that is X degree Celsius, and T2 that is Y degree Celsius. We have to see that Y is always greater than X. Sorry, Y is that is endothermic reaction. That means X is always greater than Y. That the temperature before a chemical reaction taking place and temperature after chemical reaction takes place. Here endothermic reaction, heat is absorbed. That means temperature decreases. That means Y decreases. T2 decreases. The chemical reaction, the endothermic chemical reaction is such like that the initial temperature and final temperature, we can compare initial temperature and final temperature. So final temperature T2, after reaction taking place, it decreases. The temperature is decreases there, but here in the solution of a sodium hydroxide, what we have to see in this process of a dissolution, the initial temperature is X and final temperature is Y, so that T2 is greater than T1, that is Y is greater than X. The temperature rises up. In the exothermic reaction, that is heat is given away. That is heat is given away in this reaction, given away due to that process. The temperature of the reaction is increases in second one. So two bottles are there. They are containing 100 ml of water is there. We have to add. We have to take a temperature T1 is X. Here is a T1 is also X. The same temperature of both these bottles we have. After that we have to add 5 gram. The 5 gram weight of a here potassium nitrate. Here sodium hydroxide. What you have to see? We have to see the temperature of the first bottle, that is A. Its temperature is decreased after chemical reaction is taking place. Here, in the second bottle B, the temperature increases, and in this way, here is example of a endothermic reaction. Here is example of a exothermic reactions taking place. So, what is meant by endothermic reaction and what is meant by exothermic reactions? These we have to study. So, endothermic reaction is the endothermic reaction is such a reaction that the heat is absorbed. Endothermic reaction is such like that heat is absorbed, or it needed to carry out this reaction. We have to see another example for that. We can easily conclude that. We can easily make a conclusion over it. The one reaction is CaCO2, and after that CaO plus CO2. CaO plus CO2. So what we have to do? We have to provide it to it heat. Heat is necessary. Heat is absorbed. Heat is provided. Here heat is outsidely. We have to provide it to carry out this reaction, and this reaction is endothermic reaction. And another example is they have provided that calcium oxide and water. calcium hydroxide and water. So in this reaction, calcium hydroxide and heat. So in this reaction, calcium oxide and water reacts with each other. They form calcium hydroxide is there. Heat is evolved. Heat is evolved, and this type of reaction is called exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction. So this is an endothermic reaction. This is exothermic reaction. In endothermic reaction, what you have to see? Heat is absorbed. Heat is absorbed or heat is provided so that initial temperature and final temperature, we can easily see that the initial temperature is less. Initial temperature is less than the final temperature. Here we can, in exothermic reaction, we can easily say that initial temperature is less and the final temperature is increased. In this way, exothermic and endothermic reactions are taking place. So in next thing we have to study, here we can easily see exothermic chemical reaction, heat is given away. In exothermic chemical reaction, heat is given away, and in endothermic reaction, heat is absorbed. Heat is absorbed in this reaction. So we have seen endothermic reaction and exothermic reaction, the factors affecting a chemical reactions. We can see the factors that affect a chemical reaction. Which factors are affecting a chemical reaction? Factors affecting chemical reaction. First factor, they have provided first factor which can affect a chemical reaction is that nature of reactant. First one, nature of reactant. Okay, the nature of reactants means the reaction taking place between two different compound or element is there. Two different substances are there. We are taking example when the reaction between aluminium, they have provided aluminium and zinc with hydrochloric acid, with HCl acid. Okay, what happens is that when aluminum reacts with HCl, the reaction takes place more rapidly than comparison with zinc. When zinc reacts with HCl and aluminum reacts with HCl, what we have to find out? We have to find out that HCl reaction with aluminum is more rapidly. It is more faster than the reaction with a zinc. So that the nature of reactant is most important there. The nature of reactants, the rate of reaction depends upon the nature of the reactants. How these substances which are taking part in the chemical reaction is reactive. We know that aluminum is more reactive than zinc, so that the reaction of aluminum with hydrochloric acid is more faster than comparison with zinc. So second factor, we can see that the second factor, size of particle of a reactant. Size of particles of a reactant. Size of particles of reactant. The size of particle of a reactant. So that we are taking example. They have taken example Shahabadi tile. Shahabadi tile. Okay. For Shahabadi tiles, we can choose one of the pieces. Here is pieces, and here powder. Shahabadi tiles reacts with HCl. It reacts with HCl. So we have take a test tube. Two test tubes are there. And in a test tube, what you have to see? In a test tube, we have to take pieces of a Shahabadi tiles in a one test tube, and it reacts with HCl. What happens? We have to see. We have to see. And second one, powder. In a powder, we have taken another test tube. We have take a powder. We have take a powder in another test tube. We have take a powder in another test tube. Just wait. We have take a powder in another test tube. That in a first test tube, we have take the pieces. Okay, here is pieces, and another is powder. Okay, A is the pieces of a Shahabadi tiles, and another one is powdered, where is minute particles are there, and they are taking part. They are reacts with each other. Reacts with each other, and what happens is that with HCl, we have to drop HCl. Some sort of HCl is there, and the chemical reaction is taking place, and due to that, what happens is that the carbon dioxide gas, hydrogen gas, which is releases, and we can easily see that the effervescence of here we can observe the effervescence of a CO2 is formed faster or slower speed, and it is only depend upon the size of the particle. For a powdered, in the powder state and the pieces state, in a powder state, the reaction rapidly proceed further, and the carbon dioxide easily we can see CO2 is releases. CO2, the effervescence of CO2 is formed faster speed than comparison with the pieces which of a Shahabadi tiles is there. So the size of a particles of a reactant is one of the parameter which can carry out reactions quite faster. Small particles and the powdered form can easily carry out reaction more rapidly, more faster. Okay, third one. In third factor is concentration of a reactant. Concentration of reactants. Concentration. For that we are taking a dilute and concentrated HCl reacts with calcium carbonate. Dilute and concentrated HCl with the calcium carbonate, CaCO3. Okay. First time we have to take dilute HCl with the calcium carbonate, and in second test we have to take the concentrated HCl and calcium carbonate. The reaction is more rapid, more faster, and very short time. The concentrated hydrochloric acid is reacts with calcium carbonate within a few minutes, and it can and the reaction taking place more faster than the dilute HCl. So the concentration of reactant is more important. More the concentration, more is the faster. The rate of reaction is proportional to the concentration of a reaction. The rate of reaction. The reaction is more faster when concentration of a reactant is greater. Okay. Here dilute HCl and concentrated HCl, when they are react with calcium chloride differently, we can easily see that the concentrated HCl when react with calcium carbonate, and this reaction is more faster than that of a dilute HCl. Okay. The fourth one. The fourth factor is temperature. Temperature of a reaction. temperature of reaction. Okay, temperature we know that the temperature of reaction, what happens when the temperature increases, we know that we have seen that the calcium carbonate, when we have calcium carbonate, here we take a calcium carbonate, we take a glass tube is there, in another we have taken that is okay, in that reaction we have taken one of the example we have already asked, lime water, that is lime water. Okay, so calcium carbonate is in one test tube and another test tube lime water. Okay, when calcium carbonate we have to put inside in the test tube, there is no reaction taking place. Okay, but when it's heated, when calcium carbonate is heated, a decomposition is taking place, and due to that CaO, that is calcium oxide, remains here, and CO2 gas is passing through, it gushes out, it just passing out to the another test tube which having a lime water, and this lime water turns milky, so that we can, without temperature, and when temperature is provided to it, we can easily find out the difference. When temperature is the one of the greater parameter which can easily, rapidly or more fasterly the reaction is taking place in presence of the temperature. When we raise the temperature, the rate of reaction is also increases. That is fourth factor. And the last factor is that the catalyst. Last factor is that the catalyst. Catalyst. Okay. Here we can see the reaction potassium chloride, KClO3. It can forms potassium chloride and oxygen. Okay. In this reaction, we have already seen that the size of reactant, even though we can taking the small pieces or a powder form of a potassium chloride, the reaction is not further taking place more rapidly, more faster. Even though we can increase the temperature, the reaction can't proceed further, and the reaction becomes not it cannot move faster. So that there is one of the parameter which can proceed this reaction more faster, that is a catalyst. And here we can use manganese dioxide, MnO2. That is a catalyst. In presence of a manganese dioxide, this reaction can be carried out more faster, and and manganese dioxide doesn't taking part in this chemical reaction. There is no involvement. This substance cannot involve this chemical reaction. Only the presence of this substance can change the rate of the reaction. The catalyst is the substance which cannot taking part in the chemical reaction, but the presence of that substance can easily change the rate of a chemical reaction. The chemical reaction was carried out more easily, more faster, and so that the substance catalyst is one of the parameter, is one of the factor which can change the chemical reaction faster or slower rate. So the rate of reaction we can easily see. There are different parameters: nature of the reactants, size of the particle, concentration of reactants, temperature, and catalyst. These are the 5 different factors which can change the rate of a chemical reaction. So we have studied double displacement is there, endothermic and exothermic reactions with some examples are there, and last one, the factors affecting a chemical reactions. Factors affecting a chemical reaction, 5 factors are there. So in the next chapter, in the next lesson, we can see what is oxidation and reduction reaction. So I will just stop here.